All right, hey, what's going on, missioners? All right, so Scorpio North Node, psychological and spiritual analysis. So when building with people, you need to see what the psychology and the emotions of why somebody does what they do. So if you see somebody is taking abuse to sever their relationship, to sever their security, you don't want to, come on, man, you don't want to deal with them because they're operating out of survival, not out of love and abundance. So when a person is like myself, is walking into abundance, and a person I'm trying to live with is operating out of survival, she's going to sabotage me because everything is going to be based on survival. So if I invest in her, she may not appreciate what I'm doing for her for years to come, because she's so programmed for survival that she'll depreciate what I do for her because she thinks that what I'm she just won't appreciate it, period, because that's not what she's used to. And I'm realizing I don't want to move in with my friend because she's operating out of survival. And I keep telling her, because that's the old season that I'm leaving, where it's like, it's time for you to stop surviving and it's time for you to start thriving and get habits to thrive. And that's what I'm doing now. And I'm realizing I can't hang with somebody who, and here's the thing, it doesn't matter the fact that she has more money saved than I do. She's operating in survival, and meaning she's hoping things go right instead of creating a world that's going right so she can have a healthy relationship. And she keeps trying to paint this facade that her situation is better than, and this is one thing I gotta tell her. You keep painting this facade because she's an Aquarius sun, Sagittarius moon, and Capricorn rising. So she keeps painting this facade like everything is better than what it is. And I don't like that, because I'm realizing that she's not living in the real world. Because she's not living in the real world, I can't deal with somebody who's not living in the real world. And it's super frustrating to deal with somebody who's operating out of survival, and you tell them, hey, you don't have to be like that anymore. And it's like I put it like this. It's like somebody who's used to being abused. So when they experience or being in a toxic relationship, so when they experience a healthy relationship, if they have not decided to overcome and become better and do what it takes to become better, they low-key sabotage the relationship because they're not used to what they are. And what the universe is telling me through her is to don't sabotage yourself, because you were accustomed at a point in time, or you were in a season of survival, and you take that into your new season. See, as I go into the new season of my life, I can't take my old self there anymore. I gotta leave it behind me. I can't take it with me. And she's not realizing when she builds with me, I said, you're going into a new season in your life, and you could go into the new season of your life. Come on, man. You could go into the new season of your life a lot faster because you're not doing it by yourself, and because her south node's in the 5th house. So she got her north node in the 11th house. So she's not doing it by herself. You feel what I'm saying? She's doing it with her tribe, her soul tribe, her clique, her friends, right? Because your 11th house is your friends, your associates, your network, your business partners, the people who you personally gain with. I said, even if it's for a temporary time and inside this area. So you're traveling with your friends. You're traveling with your business partners. You're traveling with your associates, right? You're traveling with your network. So I'm like, yo, we can do this together. Because the more you sit there and you do the Gemini in the 11th house, no, in the 5th house, excuse me, you take the next logical step into moving forward, and you take step by step by step by step by step, and that's not always the way you want to go, because no, if not, that's not always the way you want to go. You actually want to take a risk on yourself and move. And because she refuses, because it's not about me, that's what it's really about. She doesn't want to take the risk on herself. So she thinks that it's not going to work out, that she gets an apartment. That I said, even if we come down here and you're living in an Airbnb, you're still collecting rent. You get what I mean? So even if you're paying rent and you're able to save, that's fine. But not only are you getting experience of paying rent that you can screenshot and print out in New York, and so you're no longer a person who's never paid rent before, but you're also a person who's saving, because you're saving because I said, and the thing is, you don't have to get a whole much. You don't have to furnish things out, because I said, if you really look at it and if you really do what I'm saying, I can help you go the cheaper route. And here's what that means: if she were to take an Airbnb, I said a nice Airbnb, nothing too expensive, but a nice Airbnb. You don't have to furnish it. You don't have to take things down south, because everything that you would get up there, you would get down here. So I don't know what you need to take all this stuff. And I said, I'm sick and tired of her not being cooperative. And I said, you did this same shit when we was in New York. You swore you knew better than me, and you don't. I'm like, you could be saving money because you're not buying a whole bunch of furniture. And you don't need to. You're not trying to stay in New York. And I'm not going to convince her no more, because she's a waste. I'm just going to text her, I'm no longer living with you. I'm going to search for an apartment for you when I can, and some jobs when I can, and that's it. You're not being cooperative, and it's starting to frustrate me. Because what you're doing doesn't make any sense long term. Because yes, you could be saving and all that in New York, but I'm like, cool. You're saving every drip and every dollar, but under what condition? What mental condition? What emotional condition? What spiritual condition? And who are you becoming because you're hanging around these people? And she's in a scenario where she's not seeing the spiritual or the higher purpose of it, where the universe is telling her it's time to leave. It ain't time to stay. It's time to leave. It ain't time to stay. If abuse is here, it ain't time to be like, yeah, I'm gonna stay, because. And I said, I thought to myself while I was near the water, I was like, yo, I used to be that way. Because when I was at my parents' house and they was talking to me crazy, and I said, you know what, maybe I can save more money. And I used to think that same way. I said, you have the money, go. You don't need to buy all that what you're talking about. It's not a necessity. Because you trying to I said, you need to live minimally right now. You moving like a poor kid. And here's what I mean by that. Meaning a person who's never had anything before. So you need to go out there and do it big. I said, for what? Right now, you need to get experience of paying rent and moving forward and getting the freedom that you need to work as many hours as you can, to rest, to take care of your health and move accordingly. But you know what it is? It's like the last guy said to me earlier, a couple years ago. He said, you don't have the status that she requires. So because in other words, I'm not her man, so she don't want to listen to me. Or I don't have the big enough bag to say, yo, just come down here. And I don't even want to do that. I'm like, yo, I'm like, I genuinely am at a place where I'm okay with her figuring it out on her own. I'm not gonna convince her. I'm just gonna make my bag, and today I'm gonna move forward into real estate while I'm doing internet marketing, because I can't take it. I can't take that bullshit she's talking about. I can't take it. That whole I'm not cooperative and she's not listening. And I said, have you ever learned? Have you ever? She hasn't understood yet. When she listens to me, her life goes the way it's supposed to go. And I'm not saying everything to the T dot in the I, but she follows me, literally. Where I go, she goes, and then she finds her way in what she's doing, right? Because I'm a life path 3, and her north node is in Sagittarius. So every time, so what's crazy? I'm gonna give you an example of the universe, right? A Sagittarius moon, Pisces sun. I keep meeting I keep meeting that couple, Sagittarius sun, Pisces moon, Sagittarius sun. She is in an Airbnb, traveling, doing what she wants to do, living her own life. And she goes from Airbnb to Airbnb for months, and she pays them. And as long as she pays, he don't care. And I said, I'm going through that right now. And I'm saying, yo, because for instance, my landlord just switched up the contract for an entrepreneur, not a 9-to-5 worker. And I just realized that, right? So, like a month to month, I'm just like, no, I'm not even gonna say that. As a person who is an entrepreneur, so I'm realizing, that's how I know my self-talk change. I won't even say shit that's out of line. So I'm realizing that she's not being cooperative, and it's frustrating me. And she's not being cooperative, and she's not being her word. And I just rather us move independently, and if we need each other, I will help you, but I would not make you part of my daily life. Like, it's as in we need to live together. We need to be in each other's space all the time, because we don't. We probably see each other often, or good enough, where I'm able to support you in the best way that I can, or you come to my house. But I'm not tripping about you, me being at your crib, because it's starting to frustrate me, and it's starting not to make any sense. And I'm not gonna argue about it. But I used to be there. You get what I mean? In all those ways, man. I used to have all those excuses. I used to say all of those things. I used to make all those excuses. I used to lie. I used to tell myself, oh, I can stay comfortable in toxic situations. I'm over it. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm over it. And it's hard work going to a new chapter in my life. But I'm over it. And I realized, like I said in the last video, God already showed me who this person is. And I ain't gonna act like the person has changed, because they're not. Because they have not. And it's a prelude for when I meet my family. You have not changed. And I know you have not changed. And I know my brothers, for instance, their birthdays came up in my last client. She paid me, I paid for April 3rd. And when I booked a session, when I got a reading, chart reading for my new client, it was due, damn, what was it, May 7th? It was, something came up with May 7th. Something came up with May 7th. Some date, so both their birthdays showed up in my phone some way, somehow. I forgot fully. Right? And I said, I know they're thinking about me, and they're probably the people who changed the most. But I'm over it. I'm over it. I probably either be the most open-minded to them, but to my parents, I know they're still the same. And I ain't finna argue with nobody, no grown-ass person. At all. So, I don't have no patience for it. I don't care for it. That's it.